being that separate from your team or that's separate from your core. Right now, what you're doing, you're all about partnerships. You're all about
Hmm.
building community and interconnecting. So taking that story and then jumping into where you are right now, how do you manage so many different partnerships at the same time?
So in terms of actual partnerships, I probably have maybe about 12 or 14 actual active partnerships.
Let's stop right
So
there.
a lot of
Most people say partnerships. I have one partnership. I have two. You just said a dozen partnerships. So I digress. Continue.
Yeah, but partnerships. That's like four of them are actual full on clients, and the rest are affiliate arrangements
Mhm.
that are more inactive. So they're pretty much stored in a spreadsheet, and they are activatable. So they're not like active partnerships. They're more. If I send someone over, you're going to give me 20%, that kind of thing. But even including those, it's not more than definitely less than 20. So um, and one thing I always emphasize to people who look at this and say, because there's two reasons why people tell me they can't network. They're not extroverted enough,
Mhm.
or they're not organized enough. So like I'm not organized, I can't remember names, whatnot. I got ADHD. I can't remember names. I mean, if I know someone, I'll remember their name. But if I meet someone, I don't remember. If I don't take notes when I first meet someone on that first Zoom call, it's like I never met them in the first place.
Mm.
But I take the notes. I keep a spreadsheet of all the introductions I make. But what I've learned is because I know I don't have the great memory, when I'm in the meeting, I'm looking for what value can I provide right now. And then I've got my spreadsheet of introductions, and I think, okay, you should meet blah, 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 and blah. I write those names on the spreadsheet. And then when I next have some time, I send those email connections. And I will have people come back to me, and this happened for years. I'd have people come back to me and reach out to me on Facebook or email or whatever and be like, thank you so much for getting me that job. It's working out so well. You changed my life. And I'm like, I love you, random citizen, because I literally do not remember this person.
Mm.
I changed their life with an introduction. I don't remember them, which is not something I aspire to. It's just the way it is
Mm.
because I try to help everyone I meet, and in doing that, I find the value during the course of the meeting. They come out better for it. I've created some good karma and some good relations. If I can connect them to a client that wants to meet them, I do that. That serves my clients. And then I go on. And now some of these people I say, we got to talk more. I got to get you on my podcast. I kind of try to create ecosystems
Mhm.
to bring them back into and keep them connected. But a lot it's a matter of recognizing my own limitations in terms of memory and organization. So I just try to make the most of that meeting while I'm in there to create that value, and then sort of let the universe tend to the rest of it.
Nice, nice. So, I mean, have you ever heard of or thought about adapting and using like the memory palace method?
I'm not familiar with the memory palace method.
Yeah, yeah. So when you get a chance, you probably definitely want to look it up. But the memory palace is something that you could do it at crazy scale to where you can remember 300 names on the wall, or you can do it to kind of make things easy to memorize who you're networking with. And the way it works is essentially, prime example, if I'm going to the office, that office then becomes the memory palace. When I walk in the door, I'm going to associate the first person I meet, which could be the secretary. And that secretary, maybe her name may remind me of a famous person. So instead of me seeing the secretary, I'll see the famous person. And then
Hmm.
later on, you can use numbers, you can use colors, you can use shapes, and you're associating the characteristics of that person to those shapes and colors. An example of that
Interesting.
is like my neighbor, his name is Romaine. So every time I try to remember his name, I go to my memory palace inside of the supermarket and I go to romaine lettuce. And that's how I remember his name by default. So you can just do these
Interesting.
little things to where you're telling these stories in your mind, and then the pictures will pop up to remember who you're speaking to a lot easier. So hopefully
Hmm.
that I would say look into that. And maybe that'll
Yeah, let's
help.
look
Let
into
me
that.
know.
Yeah.